Hey guys, welcome to the second ever episode of Reality Redefined. My name is Nick.
I am Ian.
How about you say your names where people can hear you?
What was it we said we should call myself? Oh, Bear something? Bare Minimum.
Yeah, bare minimum.
Hi, I'm Bare Minimum.
And today, for hopefully the first of many guest appearances on the show, it is my lovely and talented wife, Mandy.
Hello.
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 Hello. You want to sing for us now, Mandy?
No.
She's not a
Hold on,
guest. She's a
I
third
thought-
member of the show.
I thought this whole episode was about Mandy singing online. My wife is a very talented singer, but she doesn't want to sing for us. So what's going on, guys?
Not a whole lot. What's going on with you, Nick?
No,
How are you? How have you been?
Mandy, how have you been? How's it going? How's everything
Good.
going for you?
Everything's going really well for
I don't
me.
understand why you had to ask her that. You live with her. You should know.
Because I do live with her, but I think I live in my basement and at work more than anything
Probably.
else.
And any problems that she's having in life are probably your fault anyway.
More than likely. So if you guys don't know, Mandy has been on many, many podcasts with us. She did 21 episodes of our 138 episodes of the Life and Journal podcast. So she is a podcast veteran.
I did how many?
You did 21 episodes.
Oh. I thought you said 121. I was like, wait a second.
No, just 21 of them.
Oh, okay.
So if you
Still,
guys,
you're the third guest. You're the third host.
One of the episodes that Mandy did on Life and Journal with us was an episode where we were talking about was it unsolved mysteries
Yes.
that we were doing? So that was really fun. So it's kind of like one of the basis episodes that kind of gave us the idea of doing this show. So we figured, hey, let's have Mandy on and we'll talk some more stuff. Obviously, we've got like a very different topic in mind tonight, but
Still conspiracy-ish.
it is a conspiracy theory, and
there's actually several little ones in there.
and it's music related. Mandy, are you a fan of the Beatles at all? You can be honest.
I don't think she should be honest if it's anything other than yes.
I mean, yes. I don't know anything about
There's
them.
lots of people out there that aren't fans of the Beatles.
Yeah, there's lots of people who vote for Donald Trump too, but
God. So this whole show is like supposed to be non-political.
I'm
It's the
sorry.
second
Okay, there's a
episode.
lot of people out there who just don't have good taste.
There you
Mandy
go.
has good taste, so there you go. She should like the Beatles.
Does she? Well, she does because she married me.
Well, everyone with good taste is allowed to screw up once in a while. Man.
Right.
Well, she's a fan of NSYNC also.
Yes, that's great.
So about those Beatles,
There's a whole bunch of different conspiracy theories about the Beatles. Mm-hmm. The big one, though, is the fact that Paul died
and was replaced.
Do you know anything about this conspiracy theory? Ian?
Yes, I do. I mean, not personally. I wasn't there, but
Well, obviously, because it happened long before you were born. Mandy, do you know anything about this at all, or no?
I don't think so.
So, kind of the way that goes is back in, I think it was like early 1967, a rumor started kind of circulating that Paul had died in a car accident while driving, I guess it was north of London. I guess it happened on November 9th.
I don't remember.
So it had to be November 9th, 1966.
Okay, I don't remember the dates, but yeah.
So the way the kind of story goes is Paul and the Beatles are in the recording studio, working on whatever album it was, and a big heated argument breaks out, and Paul gets mad, hops in his car, and goes zooming off down the road. So he gets in this accident and he's decapitated. So to spare the public the grief of his death,
And to not lose a bunch of money.
which seems interesting. I don't know.
Because what I heard was, I didn't hear anything about sparing the public, but they were riding high on this money train known as the Beatles, and they didn't want to risk losing that.
I mean, what do you think, Mandy? I would assume that if you're a death like that, I would think would probably
If
boost.
that had happened to Joey Fatone at the height of NSYNC, how would you feel?
Devastated.
Yes, but would it as a fan of a group, a fan of an artist or a group, does your life end?
I don't know if it's really like
does the
that.
public mourning go so deep as to justify a
No.
giant conspiracy.
I survived Anna Nicole's death. I'm still here.
I mean, yeah.
Barely, but I'm here.
I think kind of like the basis of the conspiracy there is more along the lines of they were afraid that the mourning of his death was going to be too big and would like destroy their career.
I could see that because I could see me not listening to NSYNC if we're using that example once one's gone.
Okay.
They replaced him with somebody else.
Which,
I wouldn't
if you think
listen.
about it, if you think about the Beatles, Mandy, in the '60s, they were just another boy band.
Right.
You could argue they were the first.
Yeah, but it's the same kind of principle. So I guess the comparison applies. I think. So you think it would have hurt the band going forward? Do you think it would have?
Yeah.
You wouldn't have listened to NSYNC without
No.
Lance Bass?
It wouldn't be in sync anymore. So,
Right.
and it's Paul McCartney. Like, that's Paul McCartney.
Yeah, I know.
Right.
And so they decided to replace Paul with a lookalike,
Yeah.
and kind of go on with the notion that nothing had happened.
Mm-hmm.
No, so it's kind of interesting because around the same time, the Beatles had announced that they were no longer going to be touring. So it worked. It kind of fit that they could easily maybe replace somebody with a lookalike.
Because he wouldn't be out on the road
Yeah.
prone to being identified.
And I believe my Beatles timeline, it kind of sucks. So you might be better at knowing what album it was going to. But I believe it was going into Sgt. Pepper.
If it was November 66, I believe so, yes.
Okay.
That sounds right.
So going into Sgt. Pepper, they were kind of changing their image and everything anyway.
Right.
So it kind of feeds into... Oops, almost knocked over my drink. That would have really, really been terrible.
Yeah, you'd hear a live electrocution.
You heard me going, no! Like a big tear.
Or electrocuting yourself. I'm rooting for electrocution!
What would have... I guess the soundboard is plugged in. The keyboard is not, though.
No, I know. I was thinking you would have spelled it on the soundboard. But anyway, yeah, everything was really changed. But you could argue that they were toying around with psychedelic-y kind of music to begin with, and like Revolver, which was right before that. And
It's kind of interesting, though, because depending on the conspiracy theory you believe, one conspiracy theory says that the Beatles held a secret audition where they selected somebody, right? And the other one was that they ran into some guy. He was just a homeless guy, had no family, looked like Paul, and that's who they went with.
which is very convenient.
Yeah.
Well, of course. So,
What are we going to do? Hey, that homeless guy looks just like Paul. We got it. We're good.
So it goes that it was an orphan named William Campbell is who they end up with, and it was William Campbell that they trained to act and sound exactly like Paul McCartney.
I can buy someone who kind of looks like Paul McCartney, and I could buy someone who kind of sounds like Paul McCartney. I can't buy someone who looks like and sounds like Paul McCartney.
Right.
Maybe you don't think there's like voice training or something you could go through to?
Not
No.
to that extent.
No, I think you could. No. A little bit, but not really. You're going to be able to tell a difference.
Yeah, I would think so too.
Well, I mean, their style and stuff changed around that time.
But all
were
of their
no-
styles
I guess,
changed.
I don't know.
They were like, yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying, though. They were no longer. I mean, they moved on. They definitely moved on from like the bubblegum pop kind of stuff.
Yeah, but
So
like I
you can
said,
attribute
but I said
to that.
yeah.
Yeah.
like
the
I said, they were
change.
kind of moving away from that anyway with Rubber Soul and Revolver.
Yeah. I can say one thing: if this conspiracy was true, that then they really hit the nail on the head with William Campbell, because he wrote some incredible fucking songs after this.
Right. Well, and see, that's the other thing. It seems to me like, why would John share that much writing credit, considering him and Paul argued about that all the time anyway?
Yeah.
Why would he share it with this guy?
Oh, I know. Well, because he had to, because there's
No, he didn't. All the songs just started being written by John. You could just as easily. It's no different than Pink Floyd.
Yeah.
You know, Pink Floyd at the beginning, it was Sid was writing, and everyone was writing. A
Well,
lot
they were
of
kinda-
The Wall was written mostly by
well,
Roger Waters.
the Wall was entirely written by.
Well, that's my
Roger
point.
Waters,
It wouldn't be outside the realm of possibility that one
I
artist
guess,
took
but
over.
but it would
especially with the change in the sound.
But it was Lennon McCartney. It was like this dynamic duo in music that it would be very strange for one of them all to kind of like drop off and not write music anymore.
right. Yeah, I don't know. Like I said, I've never bought into it, but I'm sure you're going to get into it. There's a lot of all these little hidden gems
I'm gonna
and
get into the
songs
clues. I'm gonna
and-
get into the clues. You probably know more of the clues than what I have on my list. But so another conspiracy theory, the way another turn in the theory goes, is that it wasn't an audition or anything. It was actually MI5 were the ones that orchestrated the replacement, knowing that the public would be too distraught over Paul McCartney's death.
Again, I don't see that. I mean, there was some devastation when Buddy Holly and all that happened.
Big Bopper
and Richie Valens died. I mean, but it didn't affect the nation. And I don't think
It
would
definitely affected Don McLean.
The day.
Yeah, there you go, Mandy sang on the show. We're done. Thanks, guys.
The day. Bravo! Encore!
The muse.
There we go. Yes.
Music.
That's the only thing that Don McLean was ever inspired by.
Yeah.
Inspired for anyway. But again, I mean, Britain was in the midst of severe austerity at this point, still from World War II. They were still rebuilding after World War II in the late 60s and early 70s. Not to mention all the union strikes that were starting to happen, especially in the late 60s. I don't think MI5 really, it's something MI5 would have
No,
gotten
I know
involved
that.
in.
Well, Ian, come on. There's going to be a lot of conspiracy theories we talk about this show.
I
What
know,
are you gonna
but
say?
you've got to point out the illogical side of things too, because otherwise, I mean that's
I know.
But yeah, I
So
don't see MI5 getting involved.
no. So the Beatles were so overtaken by guilt for replacing Paul McCartney that they left clues in their songs and album covers. I guess kind of going back a little bit, this conspiracy theory kind of started circulating in 67.
Yeah.
But it didn't really explode until October of 1969.
Okay. Although there's supposedly a lot of little hidden hints in the Sgt. Pepper album cover.
Well, it's actually Abbey Road.
No, it's Sgt. Pepper too.
Oh, well, I got most of the ones I got were from Abbey Road.
Right.
So anyway, the reason that this conspiracy theory exploded, and kind of the reason why I wanted to pick it for this very second episode, is that it's the city of Detroit's fault that this thing actually exploded. So in October of 1969, an anonymous caller calls into the radio station WKNR, which is in Detroit. And disc jockey Russ Gibb and this anonymous guy spent like 2 hours discussing
Paul's death. Uh-huh.
And they go over like all these different reasons why, all the clues that they could see.
This is in 69.
This is in October of 69. And the story actually, this program actually ends up getting so popular that like a couple of days later, the Michigan Daily, which is I believe it was the Ann Arbor kind of like U of M newspaper for the area at the time, a U of M student had heard the exchange on the radio and wrote a review. Of course, it was satire of Abbey Road, and kind of went over all this kind of the same stuff that that they had talked about, and from the radio program and from the news article, it kind of like exploded across the U.S. So that's kind of like where the growth came from, and it was actually so big that in October of that year, John Lennon called into the same radio station to kind of complain about the whole thing, and actually said it was the stupidest rumor he'd ever heard. But
which, John was not known for his tact.
well, you think?
Yeah.
So some of the clues that was left behind. So while on air, Russ Gibb, at the insistence of this mystery caller, played the song Revolution 9 backwards and claimed that he heard the words "Turn me on, dead man."
Yes. Mm-hmm.
which I've never tried playing it backwards.
No, you can hear it. Supposedly, you can hear it even in there's that in I don't fucking remember. I should have asked. I saw my dad yesterday. He knows all these things because he's like all the little song elements.
Yeah.
Because he was like, oh, let's listen. We were in the car one day, and he's like, turn it up really loud, and with that, I mean, just off Spotify, you can kind of make it if you think about it. Mm-hmm. It does kind of sound like
Turn Me On, Dead Man.
Yeah.
But they said this is playing it backwards. You can hear it.
Yeah, no, this is. It even comes up on this article. It's not played backwards. That was. I think that's like a mistake. I think I'm a little low, by the way. I don't sound very good in the mic.
Well, you sound.
You sound fine over
Do
there.
I? Okay,
Yeah.
it's just maybe just my headphones, but because like I said,
Yeah, you're coming through fine on the computer.
my dad made me play it in the car, and like I said, on the digital Spotify version, and we turned it up really loud. And like I said, it's a sound effect that, like most sounds like that. If you kind of have an idea of what someone says it might say, you kind of hear that. Mm-hmm. So it's there, but it's not in the reverse side. Now there might be something other than that that's a reverse thing, but that "Turn Me On, Dead Man" is in the song, and I fucking can't remember. Sorry, I can't remember the name of the song.
So there's another clue that they had discussed that night on the radio, and that was the line, "I buried Paul," that John says at the end of "Strawberry Fields Forever."
Is that in the official lyrics?
So he doesn't say "I buried Paul," though. The line is actually cranberry sauce, but the way that he
Again, if you hear
with his accent, it sounds like
Very soul.
"I buried Paul."
right. Oh, and Magical Mystery Tour, I think, came out first before Sgt. Pepper. I think. No, it didn't. No, it didn't. Never mind. Forget that.
Yeah, I thought, yeah.
But the album cover thing with Sgt. Pepper is it refers to the back cover wherever all the Beatles are facing the photographer except Paul. He's facing away from it.
Really?
Yes. And the Magical Mystery Tour depicts one unidentified band member in a different colored suit from the other three.
So I know with Sgt. Pepper, Paul is wearing a patch that says OPD, which the conspiracy says means officially pronounced dead.
Right. And there's something to do with the floral arrangement in the front that's supposed to be like a funeral arrangement as well.
So about the patch, though, the patch doesn't say OPD. It actually says OPP for Ontario Provincial Police, which was given to Paul McCartney. So that's where the patch comes from. Right. And also on the inside cover of, I don't know if you've ever seen the inside cover of this album, Mandy, but there's a bunch of stuff on the inside of it. But one of the pictures is, I believe it's George Harrison, and he's pointing. And they said the line in one of the songs
he's
pointing at is a reference to Paul being dead also.
Okay.
Which seems like a lot of stuff to kind of go through.
Right.
To say that.
Right. But is it outside the realm of possibility for a creative group like them to do something like that?
No.
Maybe not. But again, it's a lot of reading into stuff.
Yeah. Oh, well the next clue you're really reading into is that walrus has Greek roots and means corpse, which I couldn't find anything that corroborated that.
Right. Which in the song Glass Onion, John confirms the walrus
says,
was Paul.
Yes. The line is actually, here's another clue for you all, the walrus was Paul.
So they're playing on it. They're playing with it. Yeah. You know? And that was, that was on the White Album, which was 1968. So, I mean, this was before apparently it blew up. But obviously the rumors were going around at that point.
Well, it was after Paul died. So
right, which would have been 1966.
Yes. Mm-hmm. So, that's what I'm saying. It's like 2 years later.
The rumors going around. You said it exploded in 1969 because of Detroit.
Correct.
But they were supposedly throwing clues out way before that.
So Abbey Road is kind of like the big one. Mm-hmm. Abbey Road is like the big confession. Right? And that's because the cover of Abbey Road. Have you ever seen the cover of Abbey Road, Mandy?
Yes.
Okay, so it's them like walking across the street. Everyone knows it.
Yes.
So the cover of Abbey Road, if you think about it in your head, the cover is a funeral procession. Yep. So John is in front.
Dressed as like a minister.
He's in black. So
white.
Oh, I'm sorry, he's white.
Yep.
So he is the preacher. Okay. Ringo is next, and he's in all black, and he is the Undertaker. So Paul is the barefoot corpse, which I never even realized Paul was barefoot.
Yep, he's barefoot and his eyes are closed.
Yes. So he's the corpse, and then George is in the very back in all denim. He's the gravedigger.
Yep.
So it's some of the other things is Paul has a cigarette in his right hand, even though he was left-handed.
Right.
And there was something else also.
That can be I'm right-handed and I smoked with my left hand all the time too. So
No, okay, but there's the
Don't
whole
they
cover.
drive on the wrong side of the road there?
in England, yeah. Well, they drive on the left side. It's not the wrong side to them, but
Because on the cover, it looks like the car's coming. Wait, hold nothing. Go
Oh,
ahead.
that's it. Thanks.
yeah, there's
Mandy.
something on the license
The
plate.
license plate is LMW 28 if.
Right.
So it is because Paul would have died at 27, so he would have been 28 if he was still been alive. LMW, do you know what that is?
My dad, like I said,
Linda McCartney widow.
I was gonna say my dad went over all this stuff. We've had long discussions about all this because he's very fascinated by these
Yeah,
these conspiracy theories and looking for the clues in the album covers. and
So
all
your
that.
dad's actually going to listen to this episode?
If I tell him it's on, yeah, I'm sure he will. So
Do you know any? So that's all the clues that I had. Do you know any other ones, Ian?
just little things, just like that. It's there was something to do with the way he looked too. There was, and this wasn't from some of my dad's stuff, but this was from a video I'd watched on YouTube about it.
Mm-hmm.
After my dad and I had a conversation about it, and there's something about. I've heard about the left-handed to right-handed thing, and then I've also heard that
Which that's kind of bullshit. Well, I don't know.
like I said,
I don't know if when I smoked. I don't know if I ever really smoked with my left hand.
I did, but mainly because when you're driving, you
Yeah, I
you-
guess, but
you know,
that'd be the only time I probably did.
yeah, I did sometimes just walking around too. But yeah, I would say it was dominant with my right, but
Yeah.
it it was all over the place.
Did you say no, Mandy,
What?
about smoking with your non-dominant hand?
Yeah, I won't think so.
You didn't smoke very often.
No.
Yeah,
But-
casual smoker.
That would feel awkward
Weird.
to put it in
Yeah.
your other hand.
like I said,
But I mean,
once you've been,
I haven't
used to-
smoked in 14 years, so it feels awkward regardless what I
Yeah.
do. But I don't know. I guess I just don't think I ever. Maybe I don't know.
I don't
not
know,
very often.
You never used your ashtray, right? In your car,
No, I always used
the window.
the window.
So then you had to. Have
Well,
at
that's
least
what I'm
smoked.
saying. During when I was driving, yeah,
Right.
but I don't think
Oh.
any other time.
Like I said,
Oh.
it was. I would
I
say.
didn't smoke in my car a whole lot either, but
Right. Well, I did a long time. So, like I said, it was in my car. But yeah, it was just. I wouldn't say it was a conscious thing, but
what was
there
the
were-
look for, Mandy?
Because you smoked in your car all the time. It stunk so bad.
But that's why when I got my new car, I never smoked.
Once he bought the newer cars, he stopped
Gotcha.
doing it. It was the Thunderbird. Yeah, that
yeah,
was
my
that,
my
that
thunder
was,
my thunder chicken.
yeah, that was a big old gas tray.
Nasty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The thing was a rolling coffin. I thought I was going to die in that thing many a times.
Well, maybe if you hadn't driven under the influence several
Oh,
times.
whatever.
Because you were a party guy back then when you had that thing.
Whatever. Young and dumb.
Yes, young and dumb. But yeah, there's something to do with his look too, like not his style look, but the video was like comparing pictures of Paul pre-death and Paul post-death, and there was something to do with like his facial structure.
Really?
I mean, I didn't see anything to it, but these guys were like deep into like, there's that symmetry thing with the face and all
Yeah.
that, and it was supposedly off. And,
You know what would really help, Mandy? If Ian would have taken some notes while he's watching all these videos.
I got 2 words for you.
Go to hell? That's 3.
That wasn't it.
Oh. So, hey, speaking of the Beatles, though, real quick. So, I was at the record store today. I know, surprise. And I was, like, flipping through the R's. I don't know why. I just flipping through all the, the other albums, things that aren't by major artists or
Right.
whatever. And you know what I came across?
Ringo Starr.
No. Mandy, any idea?
No.
The Ruddles.
Okay.
Do you guys not know what the Ruddles are?
No.
The Ruddles were like like Spinal Tap is like a fake band.
Yeah.
The Ruddles were the fake Beatles band, and they did like God. I figured you definitely.
I've heard the name, but for some reason it's just not clicking with me.
Spinal Tap's a fake band?
Well, yes, but they made an album of music for the movie. But
There's a movie?
Yeah, this is Spinal Tap. It's a movie.
Oh yeah.
It was basically a spoof of heavy metal rock bands.
Yeah, and the Ruddles were the same thing. The Ruddles they were like a spoof. They were a spoof of the Beatles, obviously.
Yeah.
But yeah, they even had this was an album. It had like 4 different albums on it. It had Meet the Ruddles. It had God, I don't remember what the other name of the albums were. I'm trying to scroll down through here and see, but they were like spoofs of different of albums also. Mm-hmm. The Wheat album, Hard Day's Rut. I don't think these were on them.
That's a bit on the nose as far as spoofing goes.
Oh God, Let It Rot. That was the last one. It's supposed to be like Let It Be. It looks exactly like Let It Be, but it was Let It Rot. Sergeant Rudder's Only Darts Club Band. That's the
I
other
like
one.
that. I like that.
That was the other one that was on there. Jesus, I was trying to remember. But
one other thing, just to get back on the topic a little bit. The evolution of the song Revolution 9, I think, had a play on when he died. Number 9 wasn't something.
Well, I know that there's lots of different 9s in John Lennon's life, like the building he lived at when he was killed. He was like shot on 9th Street.
Right.
Obviously, Revolution 9.
Was it December 9th too, or December 8th?
It was. I don't remember.
It was December something.
Yeah, I think maybe it was the 9th. He was in the Beatles for 9 years. Mm-hmm. There was like all these 9s throughout John Lennon's life.
I'm glancing. Sorry about the dead silence here.
Oh, there won't be dead silence. I'll cut that out.
Okay. Well, then never mind. That's going to mean absolutely nothing to the listener.
What are you looking at?
I just saw something about 9, and that's what reminded me about the Revolution 9. And
But there's a bunch of different there's other Beatles conspiracies out there also.
Mm-hmm. Let's see.
So yeah, the album I was looking at, it had Meet the Ruddles, it had the Tragical Mystery Tour, it had Sergeant Rudders, and then it had Let It Rot. Those are the 4 Ruddles album.
And that one, like I said, is
look at it. It looks like, obviously people at home can't listen. They can't
That's
see
funny.
what I'm showing you guys, but
they're like spoofy covers.
yes,
Spoofy.
I can't believe you never heard of the Ruddles.
For some reason, like I said, I knew the name, but it just never clicked.
I think they had like a whole movie also.
Well, they would have had to because the Beatles did their movies.
Yeah. Speaking of movies, do you know that between I don't know, this isn't really on topic, between I think it was 1958 and 1961, that Elvis Presley made 40 some movies in 3 years.
Oh, so he's like a porn star.
Jesus.
Seriously, porn stars make 100 movies a week.
I'm sure my grandma knew that.
What, porn?
Oh my god. No.
Nick.
I know. Was she a big Elvis fan?
Yes.
Yeah, and
movies,
you figure all the movies he made in that 3-year span. So at that time, he was probably the highest paid actor in Hollywood. He was making all these movies, which some of them were really terrible. And you figure he released an album for every single one of them almost.
Huh.
There was a soundtrack to all of his movies.
Huh.
Interesting, eh? Mm-hmm. Okay, back to topic.
Yeah,
I
the
guess.
porn stars aren't putting out any music.
Well, I mean, there's a soundtrack, but I don't know if you want to listen to that.
But that's what I'm saying is that the porn stars aren't making the. Okay, this is to tie in with your Ruddles thing. It's on the Wikipedia page for just.
Wikipedia, the
Yes.
authoritative source that is Wikipedia.
I'm not giving it any credit. I'm just stating where I'm getting my information from. Under the pop culture significance of the Paul is dead thing.
Uh-huh.
And it says, there have been many references to the legend in pop culture, including in the Ruddles' 1978 television film satirizing the Beatles' history, All You Need Is Cash. The identity of the alleged dead band member was transferred to the George Harrison character, Stig O'Hara, who is supposed to have died in a flash fire at a waterbed shop.
A what?
A flash fire at a waterbed shop. I think I need to see this movie.
I think I've watched it with you. I'm almost 100% sure.
No, I've never seen
I watched it with you.
I've never seen this. And he was replaced by a Madame Tussauds wax model. Building on Harrison's reputation as the quiet Beatle, the Stig is dead theory was supported by his lack of dialogue in the film, includes such as his trouserless appearance on the cover of the Red Shabby Road album.
I don't think I've ever seen the cover of Shabby Road.
It didn't, yeah.
Obviously, I've seen Let It Rot and the other ones.
Yeah. Well, I'm just.
I almost bought that album. I was fucking dying when I was looking at that thing.
Might be worth it now. Apparently, McCartney's played around with the hoax a little bit too. I guess I didn't even put this together.
Yeah, he had a live album he called Paul is Alive.
Yeah, Paul is live.
Yeah,
but,
Paul is live.
So.
But so there's other conspiracies too. So there's a conspiracy theory that Richard Nixon had government spies placed on the band members because he thought they were communist sympathizers.
Well, John Lennon was on his.
That's kind of what I was getting at. So in 2007, records were released that actually showed that this was true. Yeah. That
I don't know. I didn't know about the Beatles, but I know Lennon himself and Yoko Ono.
That's what it was. In the early 70s, he had. He had John Lennon and Yoko.
And to be fair, they both were communist sympathizers. They were communists at heart. Well, they were Marxists, we'll say. That would be more accurate anyway.
So they're Democrat. They're today's Democrats then, because they're all
today's
really. Democrats are Marxist communists.
It's a bit of a stretch, but yeah.
So there's another conspiracy theory that John Lennon's killer was brainwashed by the CIA.
Yes. Which makes no sense. I mean,
it does. It actually makes perfect sense because the CIA. So the CIA wanted John Lennon killed out of fear of John Lennon's power. Right.
What power did he have? His popularity had not dwindled, but it wasn't in 1980. It wasn't like he was moving anything around like on a social level like he was in 1970.
I know that, but
so why not have him killed in 1970?
The fear that he could.
Why not have him killed in 1970?
Because it took them. I don't know how long it took them, but it took them a while to brainwash Mark Chapman to kill him.
I'm not buying it.
Well, I'm not buying a whole lot of it. I'm not buying the one that Paul McCartney is also the Antichrist, which has been what Mandy?
Nothing. This is fun.
So he created Helter Skelter as a calling to push Charles Manson to embark on a murderous rampage.
You know what's funny?
And there's actually been religious figures that have called Paul McCartney the Antichrist.
Yeah, but see, back then, all rock and roll was from the devil anyway.
But if you really think about it, to kind of tie it all together, it wasn't really Paul McCartney. That means this homeless guy that didn't have a family was actually the real Antichrist, right?
Theoretically, yeah, you're right.
William, what did I say his name was?
William Campbell.
Yeah, William Campbell.
Yeah. Now, just a little side note, but it kind of ties a little bit. In the last year or so, there's been a lot of stuff coming out that may put into question Charles Manson's the whole Helter Skelter thing.
I hear the dogs barking.
Yes. Is it the Antichrist?
Well, it is probably Jack coming home, so.
Wow.
Probably another hour for the football game.
Oh, yeah, that's right. He's watching the football game.
So it
kind of calls it all into question?
It's yes, basically, there's some evidence to support the statement that Bugliosi, the prosecuting attorney, did make up the Helter Skelter thing.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, he's dead now, so he can't.
It doesn't change the fact that the Manson people committed the murders.
It just takes out the motive.
But it takes out the motive, which also is the only thing they had tying Manson to the killings in the first place. Although he was present at the LaBianca killings because he tied them up.
Yeah.
But other than that, there's no connection. If you take the Helter Skelter thing out, there's no connection to the Tate murders the night before.
It was just a random act that they
did. It could have been their misinterpretation.
Yeah.
But again, the only connection that the law had on Manson to that was the Helter Skelter thing. And if you take that out of the equation, he might have been a bit more innocent than we were led to believe.
Yeah.
So.
God, man, no, it's interesting.
It doesn't change the fact that he was a Looney Tune. I mean, he was nuts. He was a lunatic who actually I don't think all of his ideas were bad, but he was kind of crazy.
If only Brad Pitt could have stopped him.
I still haven't seen that movie.
Oh my God! You've
I
not
know
seen
I have not
Once
seen.
Upon a Time
I've
in Hollywood.
Not seen it yet.
You didn't You weren't a big fan of that movie, were you, Mandy?
A little bit.
I want to see it.
I thought it was a fantastic movie until the end of it. And I was like, what the fuck? Which, I mean, the ending wasn't terrible. It was one of those movies where they rewrite history, but whatever.
Right.
That's kind of...
Well, that's his thing.
Yeah.
I mean, he did the same thing with Inglourious Bastards.
Yeah. Oh, well, of course. Yeah, obviously, because Hitler didn't turn himself over.
Well,
Oh,
he blew up in that theater.
Yeah,
or died, burned up in the theater. But
and then, the other guy, I forgot what his name was, but...
Goebbels
yeah.
or whatever. Yeah. That was just a little side because you mentioned the Helter Skelter thing, and I think that might be something we can look into about maybe doing a whole show on.
Oh, it might be interesting. Yeah, I'm always into the Helter Skelter and all that kind of stuff.
Because I mean, at its core, there's a lot of conspiracy stuff going on there too. So we may touch on that later.
So the last conspiracy I have is about, and this isn't only to John Lennon. This has been said about other musicians throughout history, and that was John Lennon sold his soul to the devil.
Yeah.
How do you do that?
Well,
You say, "Hey, devil, I'll make you a deal," I guess.
Oh.
Or the devil comes.
Got your Ouija board out or something, and
it was. I don't know if it started with the blues musicians in the late 1800s, early 1900s.
Well, it's just
because
the one I know
it's really deep embedded in kind of the southern black music culture with the crossroads, Devil at the Crossroads.
Okay.
Where you go to a crossroads and you bury something special at the heart of the crossroads, and the devil shows up, and you ask the devil for whatever it is you want, and you sign over your soul. I mean, obviously, I would believe that's myth and legend and superstition, but
What are you talking about? I sold my soul for a podcast.
I didn't. Because
It's a joke.
I know. And if you did, you should get your fucking money back. Because there are better podcasts out there.
Yeah,
I'm sure.
what are you talking about? No, there's not.
I know. Robert Johnson is a blues guy, and supposedly he did that.
Yeah.
There's a movie. Actually, you might like it, Mandy. It's an old movie. It's from 86. I think 86.
Ish.
Called Crossroads. It's got Ralph Macchio in it. And he's like this classically trained guitar player, but he goes looking for this. I don't know if it's music that was written by this famous guitar. I think it's Robert Johnson. I can't remember if it's in the story. But he meets this old blues harmonica player, and they go on this like road trip to find this thing. And apparently he had sold his soul to the devil, and he was trying to get out of the deal. But it's more of it's not supernatural in any way. It's just drama, but it's such a good movie. Kind of plays on that whole thing. But obviously this would be a different type of scenario, selling his soul, because I don't think there's many dirt crossroads or voodoo / Christian mythology going on a lot, and because a lot of it was African tribal religion and Christianity mixed together.
Yeah. So there's a book written by Joseph Niesgata. Niesgata. I think it's how you say the last name, whatever. But it's a book called The Lennon Prophecy, where he writes that Lennon was desperate to be more famous than Elvis, and they made a pact with the devil in exchange for success.
Well, at least he got his money's worth.
Yeah.
Because I think he succeeded.
More famous than Elvis?
Yeah, I would think so.
Or
at least equally famous.
I don't know.
At least equally famous.
I don't know, man.
Was he famous on his own, or was he famous partly
because
for
of
being the
Beatles.
Beatles, though?
Both, though.
But then can you equate it? I mean, Elvis was just Elvis. There
Would-
was no other.
Would Lennon have
Help.
been as popular in his solo career if he hadn't been in the Beatles?
No.
That's the question I guess you should ask. Because no. The answer would be no. But he was equally famous, and more so because
he didn't have nearly the success.
No, but
that
at
Elvis
least
did.
as far as like popularity that we kind of understand it now, him and Yoko were on talk shows all the time. They were out there, which by say 2020 standards, that's as popular as you get. If people are seeing you on TV, no matter what you're doing, because that's what fame is now.
I would argue
By
that
today's standards,
Elvis
yes.
is probably the most famous musician ever.
I don't know, man. Britney Spears is way
Oh
up
my
there.
God, I can't. Oh my God, Mandy. By the way, the record store, that was one of the first albums that sold out, I
See?
guess.
Told you.
Was the Oops, I Did It Again
Yep.
anniversary album.
Was the cover the same? With her in the schoolgirl outfit?
Yeah. Yeah. Uh-huh.
Okay.
I think it was. But it wasn't like the album. It was B-sides. It was unreleased
If
stuff,
it-
I think.
If it had her circa 1998 in a schoolgirl outfit, it's going to sell.
But you have to remember,
'Cause-
though, Ian, people are buying this without being able to see the cover.
Oh, that's true. Because I'll tell you what, I don't like Britney Spears music. But I used to watch that video whenever it was on mute. All the time. When that video came
Mandy.
on, I would mute it.
Mandy,
That's the
watch.
Oops, I Did It Again cover, where
Oh,
she's got
no.
the gold.
Oh,
That's not what I was
so it's
thinking.
not the one. What was her first album then?
Oh, Hit Me One More
Hit
Time
Me.
is the one I'm thinking of.
Oh,
That's a schoolgirl one.
yeah.
Yeah.
Never
What
mind.
was the name of that album though?
I don't know.
Oh,
I just
wow.
know that song because I used to mute that video and watch that video all the time. Because
Hit My Baby Back Behind. That was a spoof
I don't know.
song of it.
in 1998-99, Britney Spears made me tingly downstairs.
Baby One More Time, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's that.
Yeah, that's the one I was
Well, she's
thinking
not
of.
a
She's not really
schoolgirl.
well,
No, but the Hit
She-
Me One More Time
Yeah.
is in the schoolgirl.
I look at
Gotcha.
that video now and I feel dirty even looking at it.
Yeah,
now.
that one.
But
She's definitely
because she looks like she's like 15 on the cover of that album.
she's
She
very,
is.
she's very whiskey tango right now.
Whiskey
Anyway.
Tango.
Yeah.
She's
Think
about to
about
be
it again.
40, man. Leave her alone.
Hey, I'm over 40. I don't look that
White
torn
trash, Ian. White trash.
up.
Whiskey tango.
I don't look all torn up like that. Give her. I don't give her.
You give me
shit.
the evil eye, Mandy.
Yes, I am.
I'm not going to give Britney shit.
Get back to your Beatles conspiracy.
No, I mean just I don't want. I will never give Britney Spears shit. I don't like her music, but the industry and fame put her through hell.
Oh,
So
absolutely.
there's
Absolutely.
no whatever. I don't care how old she is. I don't and how torn up she may look. She's been through the ringers.
Yeah.
Yes.
No question about it.
Yeah, absolutely. She was taken advantage of by a
And
lot
by
of
that
people.
standard,
And
she's-
her
she is-
parents were
Oh, yeah,
took
yeah.
advantage of her also.
Right. But by that standard,
Financially.
she is like Elvis because that's what the world did that to him too.
Oh yeah.
You know, his handlers, everything. He was a puppet. That's why he was strung out on drugs because that's how they controlled him. They did the same thing to Judy Garland.
Yeah, Elvis. I don't know. Elvis's drug use is at a whole different level than.
But
I think probably Michael Jackson's drug use is probably the only one that's topped.
but think
all
about
this.
it. Look at all the similarities between those three people.
Oh, absolutely.
All of them started very young.
Yeah.
All of them, you know.
Yep.
The industry did that to them.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
So that's all I'm saying. So that's why I won't criticize Britney for anything she's going through. Yeah, she may be white trash, but look what she went through to get there. To be
Yeah, that's
put
true. She is from Louisiana.
there. Yeah. Aaron Carter would be another example of that. Just look at him.
Oh my God, I saw a picture of him lately. I didn't realize he was so trashy now.
Oh yeah, he's got tattoos on his face and shit.
Yeah. Hey, I got everyone that's listening to this podcast out there. Don't get tattoos on your face.
No, not here.
Unless you're already famous, don't
Right.
get tattoos on your face.
Yeah, and to be fair, Aaron Carter was like past famous. He's not
Yes.
still famous. He's
Yeah.
past famous.
And at least like Post Malone was like kind of famous when he started tatting up his face.
Unless you are independently wealthy
Yeah.
or in a family that is very, very rich, you do not get a tattoo on your face because it guarantees that you will never have a job that'll pay you in any form that's going to be enough to sustain your life.
It's
on.
not even about that, man.
It
Like
is.
every single person I've seen in the wild. Yeah,
in the wild. We're like stray cats.
might as well be. Every person I've seen like out in public that has like facial tattoos, they just look like the trashiest people on earth.
Well, a lot of them are, but you could
I
say
guess
that
there's got to be to like wake up in the mirror, or wake up in the morning and look yourself in the mirror and like, damn, I look good with these stars tattooed across my face or the barcodes or whatever it is.
I think that we equate the trashiness because generally speaking, they're very lower income people mainly because I think they have face tattoos.
Maybe if they didn't spend so much money on facial tattoos.
I have no problems. You can be tattooed all over, but make sure that you can cover it up, meaning you don't have tattoos below your wrist, you don't have tattoos above your neckline.
I think tattoos above the neckline are okay.
You start getting the trash. The higher you go, the trashier it gets.
Because I've seen neck tattoos. Like people have tattoos on the back of their neck. That's not trashy.
But it's easy
if
enough
it's
to
on
cover
like
up.
if it's on like I think it's on the side, especially on the front of your neck and on your face, on the top of your head. That's a no-no.
I just say if you can't cover it up,
Those are the no-no places.
if you can't cover it up for a job interview, don't get it. That's my
I guess you
rule
can wear a mask.
in a job interview.
Yeah, just wear a Donald Trump mask.
In a job interview.
Yes. At Halloween City.
That's my point. You can get a job at a restaurant or a fast food restaurant, maybe
As a cook.
as a cook.
Because they don't give a shit what you look like.
No, exactly. You can.
What do you think, Mandy?
Do any of the Beatles have tattoos?
No,
no idea.
I don't think so.
Not that I'm.
Well, Ringo has that big tattoo on the side of his face. No, I'm just joking.
He's got
What do you-
fuck and you right under his eyes.
I know. I don't. To each their own. I don't need to concern myself with someone else's body.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, yeah, whatever you do to yourself is
But
your business.
I don't
that's your
like
business.
it.
right?
I think it's ugly.
It's your
and-
business, but in my opinion, I think the second you get a face tattoo, you are telling the world that you only want to work minimum wage for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
Except for those usually aren't the people that are making minimum
Yeah.
wage.
you
People
mean?
with face tattoos are the famous people.
Well, that's fine. If you got money, do whatever the fuck you
Oh
want.
yeah. If you're
You
Mike
know.
Tyson,
Yeah.
Mike Tyson, your facial tattoo looks cool. Please don't punch me in the
Ew.
face.
Mike Tyson, I don't like your tattoo. You punch me in the face, I'm going to sue you and have your money, and then that face tattoo is going to look even
Then you
worse.
can buy yourself a tiger.
I don't want a tiger.
That's what he did. Well, he bought like a bunch of tigers.
Well,
didn't
he's
he?
rich. He can do whatever he wants. Michael Jackson bought a monkey.
I think those were a different reason though.
No, I think he bought the monkey just
To
for
entice
fun.
the children.
Maybe. I don't know.
That's a whole
I
different
watched that.
conspiracy theory.
I watched that Finding Neverland.
Finding Neverland is fucked up.
It is, but I still didn't. I don't think it presented
Obviously,
accusations, and it presented the people who were making the accusations,
and
but it didn't present any evidence.
it presented everything in a very one-way fashion. I do.
right,
yeah, I
but
know
it,
that.
but it, I don't even. It was all hearsay to me. I don't.
Yeah.
There was no.
There's no factual
There's no.
information.
Yeah, nothing that.
Which
is-
all that stuff is never going to be able to be proven anyway.
Right.
'Cause, if you believe the rumors, everyone was very well paid off. So
Right. Yeah. So I don't know.
I'm sorry, you can't pay me enough to let somebody diddle my children, though. So I
No.
mean, I don't know. That's why I don't. It's hard to buy into some of that stuff, though.
But we do know that there are people out there who you can buy.
Oh yeah,
So-
but I don't know. Anything else you guys want to add? That's kind of all I had for the conspiracy stuff.
Nope.
No,
No.
that's about it. It's still very fascinating. Look into it and look at the album covers because it's fun.
It is
it's
fun.
fun.
You know,
Yeah.
Like I said, the Sgt. Pepper, like I said, the bottom, the floral arrangement around the bottom is supposed to be like a funeral arrangement. I know there was always something about the patch. I couldn't remember what it was.
Yeah.
And I think there's other things in there too, but I don't remember what they were.
I don't know. I read a bunch of stuff. I just picked out. Some
This
of the
would have
big
probably
ones.
been a good show to have my dad like maybe on, but
Yeah.
we'd have to do it through Zoom or something.
Yeah.
So, but
Maybe someday. Maybe someday we'll revisit the topic.
yeah.
I'm sure if he does listen to this episode, he'll be like, "Oh, you forgot a bunch
Oh,
of shit."
he's gonna. When he listened to the Tull episode, he's like, "Why didn't you mention this? Why didn't you mention this? Why didn't you mention that?" I'm like, "Look, it was the longest show we ever did."
No, it wasn't.
I thought it
It was
was
the second longest.
second longest. Still, it was 2 hours, right?
Yeah.
Over 2 hours.
Yeah.
So we covered as much as we could. Just anyway. But
Well-
yeah, he'll hit us on this one for sure. I'm sure.
Well, that's all I got, though. Mandy, thanks for coming on the podcast with us.
Yes.
Hey.
Hopefully, you'll be on here more often.
Yeah. Maybe
'Cause
next time I'll know the topic and I can have some.
You didn't even know the topic when
No.
you came on. You're getting you got Ian skills.
She kind of knew the topic.
You told me the other day what you were gonna do, but
Yeah.
I don't know
That's
that it was
you
this
got
show.
mad
I
Ian
just-
skills. You come on. You
I
just
wanted
talk,
pizza tonight, and he said, "If you want pizza, you gotta
Oh,
come on the show."
Oh, you bribed her onto the show.
Absolutely.
Wow.
but I got my pizza.
What do you have to do to get sex?
This is a family show.
Yeah.
I said fuck like 7 times already.
I know. Trust me, we know.
We know.
Why?
Man.
Why? And you know what's so funny is I don't notice it. I just talk. That's how I talk when I'm not at work. And when I'm at work, I'm paid, so I know to watch my mouth. Anywhere else, I don't care.
Yeah.
But
You
at
hear
work,
that? He doesn't care if
but
he
at
curses.
work-
He doesn't care if he curses in front of a woman.
no, I don't. I really don't. Words are fucking words. But here's the thing: at work, he drops the F-bomb all the goddamn
I
time.
believe it.
At work, super loud because you know how his voice is. But I'm the bad guy who says these words in my private time.
Obviously, I care more about what I say on the podcast than I do at work.
Yes, apparently so. Because there's been times where he's like said, "What the fuck?" and it's super loud. I'm like, "There's 2 fucking doctors there that all they have to do is talk to our boss, and you're gone."
No,
gone,
that's
gone.
not true. I won't
Still,
be gone. They don't fire you for things like that.
I would,
Well, tough shit.
because there's there's a time and a place. Podcasting.
The time and place is when I say it is.
Oh, Lord.
Right,
And
maybe?
on that
And
note,
now you know why when he gives me shit about cursing on the podcast, I still haven't fucking stopped.
Well, thanks for being on the show, Mandy.
Yeah,
like I
so
said,
you're
hopefully be
welcome.
on here more often.
Okay.
Yes.
That's all I got.
All the
guys.
topics are always going to be fun like this.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Always. That's the whole point of
That's
this
the whole
new
point
show.
of the podcast.
No more
It's,
negativity.
All right.
ne-
I like
no more negative Ian.
Well, I can't promise that. But the topics won't be negative.
So check us out on Facebook and on Twitter and all that. What's our Twitter handle, Ian? I know this is only the 2nd episode. What's our Twitter handle? At
We are lizard people, PPL.
yes, it's We Are Lizard PPL.
Oh.
We Are Lizard People. That's what our Twitter handle is.
See, I told you I would remember that one.
I had a hard. After 138 episodes of the Life in General podcast, Ian still didn't know the
Nope.
Twitter
He
handle.
asked me-
2nd episode, he's got this one.
yeah, because it stands out. It's a good choice because it stands out. I remembered it.
So yeah, find us on Twitter on. What are you doing, Mandy?
I'm trying to figure out how to add you on Twitter, but I don't know how to add people.
Oh, yeah, I think you already follow us because I just used because it used to be at LIG Pod and I just changed the handle. So you should already have us on there.
Okay. I don't even know where I follow people.
You go to the little magnifying glass and then look us up.
I'll take this moment to confess that I have not been on Twitter this entire year. I don't like Twitter.
I don't either.
Really?
Yeah, I don't find anything fascinating. I
I'm-
can't just
I-
scroll through Twitter.
I'm definitely more into Instagram.
Yeah, I can scroll through Instagram and find stuff that's fascinating, see other people's pictures, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Facebook, I still go through as much as I hate it.
Yeah.
TikTok's my new gig, but you can't do anything on
Yeah, I got Ian addicted. Ian and Mandy both addicted to TikTok and then I
Yeah.
dumped it.
Yeah.
I left it.
Yeah, he's like, "Oh, this is the funniest thing." I'm like, "I don't want another." He's like, "Yo, you're so old." I'm like, "Fine, I sign up." A week later, he's like, "TikTok, what the
What's
hell?"
it called?
Huh?
What's it called?
We the Lizard People.
Oh, see, I said we are the lizard.
Yeah.
No, we the Lizard PPL.
Oh, Reality Redefined.
Yes,
See?
that's us.
I'm following you.
You can
Do
also,
we have an Instagram too?
No, the Instagram is just my Instagram, which is just all full of records. If you want to look at that.
Right?
No,
What, Mandy?
nothing.
Don't you post our things on Instagram though, or like share it on Instagram? I thought you did.
I was posting Life in Journal on there when we were doing live videos, but not. I don't post I guess I do. Maybe I will. I don't know. Who the hell knows? I'll figure it all out.
It's only episode 2, Nick. Calm down, simmer down.
Why is it all left up to me? Why don't you post on your Instagram?
Because I don't even know how to post it. Oh yeah, I do.
But anyway, we're on Twitter. We're on Facebook and all that jazz. You can email us at. Do you know the email address, Ian?
That one I don't remember.
Reality Redefined Pod
Yeah, that.
at gmail.com.
Yep.
Well, that's all I got, man.
I'm good.
Mandy,
All right.
thanks for being on the show.
All right.
Until next time,
Talk to y'all later.
peace.
Play my role, let me tell you about it. This shit right here, man, I'm about it. Only real niggas reside around me. Yo, old lady, drop a guard around me. Dip like I know you can, bitch. Show me the ropes like we in the ring. Got you two cobras, you wanna hang. Shoulder to shoulder, them niggas basic. You know I won't lie. You know that I ain't for that fuck shit. You You niggas alright, but I'm way better and she love it. Know that y'all sick as fuck. Here go this tissue, bro. We taking the dub, hoping you get you some. This hit like a pick me up. She taking my drugs. Know they see the sign. That's some dollar signs. Know they sick as fuck. Know they sick as fuck. Tell them get well soon. Tell them get well soon. Know you sick as fuck. Get well soon.
Oh shit. Watch out, you the car, Billy. Oh shit. Right now, and I'm smiling in your face, bitch. With a gold smile, you should probably make placement.